In a quiet village beneath the Alps, there lived a man named Emilio, known throughout the valley for his garden, where flowers bloomed all year round. People called him the man who spoke to plants. Every morning they would see him walking slowly among his flowers, whispering to them as if greeting old friends. But few knew that before the peace on his face and the beauty of his garden there had been years of failure, loss, and a long lesson in patience. The first dream. When he was young, Emilio was impatient. He dreamed of growing flowers quickly, selling them, and becoming rich. He bought thousands of seeds, built greenhouses, and hired workers. On the first day he planted, he imagined rows of blossoms swaying in the sun, a fortune waiting to happen. But weeks passed, then months. The soil stayed bare. Heavy rain washed his seeds away in anger. Emilio cried out, "Why won't they grow? I've done everything right." One day an old villager visited and smiled kindly. "You cannot force a flower to bloom before its time. To see it bloom, you must learn to love the days of waiting." The harsh winter. That winter came early. Snow blanketed his land, freezing the ground. Most of his seedlings died. Hopeless, Emilio sold his tools and was ready to give up. One night, sitting by the fire, he remembered the old man's words. He thought, "Perhaps I've lived like a farmer who only plants, not one who listens." The next morning, instead of complaining, Emilio began caring for the soil itself. He composed it, he watered gently. He tended to what remained, not because he expected anything, but because it felt right. Day by day, as he cared for the earth, he felt something shift within him. His heart was healing, just like the soil, the spring of patience. The next spring, something miraculous happened. Emilio's garden burst into color, flowers not only in his beds, but even where he thought nothing could grow. Villagers stopped by in awe. "What magic did you use?" they asked. He smiled. "No magic. I simply stayed with them, even when nothing seemed to happen." The gardener's way. From then on, Emilio never rushed again. He understood that everything in life, even peace, takes time. When pests came, he didn't curse, he removed them gently. When storms flattened his vines, he didn't despair. He would sit under his porch, sip tea, and whisper. Rain is also part of the season. When asked for his secret, he always replied, "Patience and peace." The young apprentice. One day, a restless young man named Marco came to learn from him. Marco was ambitious and eager to earn money quickly. Emilio said softly, "All right, but before you plant anything, you must first learn to sit still." Marco frowned. "Sit still? That won't grow flowers." Emilio smiled. "If your heart isn't calm, your hands can't nurture life. Learn to wait. The soil will teach you." The slow bloom. Marco stayed. At first he grew frustrated, staring at bare soil day after day, but slowly he began to notice things he'd never seen before. The sound of the wind through the leaves, the smell of damp earth after rain, the quiet rhythm of the garden breathing. He realized that flowers were not the only things growing, he was growing too. Years later, when Emilio became too old to tend the fields, Marco took over. One evening, Emilio asked his apprentice, "Tell me, why do our flowers bloom brighter than others?" Marco smiled. "Because we care for them with peace, not with impatience." Emilio nodded, his eyes warm as sunlight on soil. Yes, peace is the strength of the patient. For only the patient are gentle enough to touch true beauty. Final reflection. Life doesn't always bloom when you expect it to, but those who are patient will always see spring again. Peace doesn't mean doing nothing, it means doing everything calmly, without hurry. When you learn to wait without despair and act without anger, you'll find that peace itself becomes your strength. Peace is the strength of those who are patient in life.